West as a pineapple express brings days of rain to the region.
The Skykomish River has hit major flood stage.
While the eastern half of the country shivers under sub-freezing temperatures and snow.
The snow started adding up and the road conditions deteriorating.
Japan is rocked by an earthquake with a dire warning that another one could be coming soon. Out west, a look at how prescribed burns bring short and long-term benefits to the forest.
It reduces pollution, it lowers insurance rates.
Why red light therapy is surging in popularity, and how to keep your Christmas tree looking fresh into the new year.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm Angela Brown. More than 10 million people in Washington and Oregon face flood watches and warnings today as an atmospheric river brings days of rain to the Pacific Northwest. The rain started falling yesterday and may not let up until Friday. Rivers in both states are expected to reach major flood stage, putting people who live near the water on high alert. Seattle meteorologist Stella Sun shows us just how much rain could fall.
So it's an atmospheric river. It's called a pineapple express, and that's because it comes from the land of Aloha towards the Hawaiian Islands. It's got warmer air and plenty of moisture with it. Now that we're in the thick of it, we're getting a better idea of how much rain we could be seeing. This is through Thursday afternoon. The European model showing anywhere from 2.5 inches of rain expected through Seattle, just over 2 inches through Bremerton, and nearly 3 inches in Tacoma. But check out the coastlines. We're talking about 3 to 4 inches.
And nearly 24 Washington state rivers are under flood warnings this morning, including this one south of Seattle. We have team coverage of the flooding in both Washington and Oregon. We start with Jeremy Harris with details on the rescue of 2 people near Seattle late last night.
The Skykomish River here near Gold Bar has hit major flood stage, and that is causing a lot of problems, and it can be life-threatening, as we saw just here behind me on Levee Road, south of the town of Startup. Fire and rescue crews got a call just before 9 o'clock from 2 people who said they were stranded by floodwaters along the Skykomish River. They were at some sort of a campsite. We're not sure if they were out recreationally camping or if they were potentially homeless. Regardless, they were in a tent at a campsite, and they needed help because they said the floodwaters were coming up quickly. Fire crews raced in here, and they were actually able to use drones to locate that couple and then guide the ground crews right to them, and then used a hoverboat to get them out of that area, get them into safety. We're told that they were at least evaluated here on scene by the medical personnel. Of course, this is something that fire crews have been on alert for with the rising rivers across the Puget Sound region.
The Skagit River is angry and about to get angrier.
It's going to be a flood no matter what, and it's been bad for many times, so it's scary no matter what.
Colleen Lund says despite what's coming, business is good at Genesis Salon and Spa.
In 2021, yeah, that was a bad one.
But they are looking over their shoulders, the river right outside their shop window. She knows from experience it's not just the river, but groundwater that can be an issue.
And our house was like downhill, and all the water from the ground, because I had nowhere to go because the river was too full, it just went right into the house.
And they have a relatively new flood wall. It was tested during record flooding in 2021 when the Skagit crested at an historic high, 37 feet, 4 inches. It worked. This week, the Skagit forecasted to crest at 34 plus feet, and then again at more than 36 feet.
I'm preparing for a moderate flood, which will put water in our backyard. So anything we have laying out, we pick up.
Nick James has lived behind Johnson Creek in East Portland for over 40 years. He says during periods of heavy rain, water levels have often reached several feet surrounding his house, the record being in 2015 when Johnson Creek reached 15.3 feet high.
So we've been through it several times, and it's just we've learned from our mistakes.
James says he's not anticipating record levels this time around, but is anticipating some damage.
I'm expecting the water to be by our vehicles. It pushes up this way, because this is the higher side of our driveway. So it comes in this way, and our backyard back there will be completely underwater.
He says recent work in Gresham, spearheaded by Metro, has made a difference. That project removed barriers along the creek to help lessen the impacts of flooding. But even minor flooding can still leave a mess.
Just roadways will be clogged up and a bunch of debris kind of everywhere.
In the east, the story is the Arctic blast bringing bitter cold temperatures and snow to many places. Let's start with the waves and cold air that will keep the Midwest and east frigid through the weekend. And some of the cold is extreme. This morning, people in Saranac Lake in northern New York woke up to 22 degrees below zero. By the weekend, sub-zero wind chills will stretch from Kansas City to Chicago. As for the snow, another 3 to 5 inches fell across Virginia on Monday. The North Carolina mountains also saw snow buildup. And as Bob Aaron reports from West Virginia, the snow causes havoc with school schedules.
As drivers hit the ditch Monday morning, some parents complained on social media that Kanawha County schools should have closed. Others were unhappy that it dismissed early. The weather proved somewhat unpredictable in the Kanawha Valley, where multiple accidents continued throughout the day. The snow started adding up and the road conditions deteriorating. By noon, we were under a winter storm warning. Earlier, school officials decided they needed to let the kids out 2 hours early. School officials may get a chance to make more decisions that will leave somebody unhappy when another weather event hits Thursday night into Friday morning.
The upper Midwest has also been dealing with an early start to winter as people in the Chicago area found out icicles can be a pretty sight, but their presence is often a sign of larger problems. Rob Hughes has more.
I don't know what to do. I keep knocking them down every day and they come right back.
Deb Lang, like many in the Chicago area, dealing with the impacts from a fast start to winter. She says she's brushed back the snow from the gutter line, but still more ice.
I don't know how to correct it. They say it's something about the attic.
Winter already presenting problems, and it's still early December. O'Hare has recorded more than 17 inches of snow so far this season.
Certainly in the last 3 decades or so, I don't think we've seen a winter like in such early intense snow.
After the last 2 snows, we've gotten inundated with a ton of calls. Most of it is ice damming or icicle issues.
However, Jim Peterson says just because you have icicles doesn't necessarily mean you have a problem.
If you just have a small icicle or two, nothing to be concerned about. But if you have walls of ice or real large icicles hanging out around the house, you have something going on that needs to be addressed.
Peterson says the main culprits are a lack of intake ventilation for the attic and/or a lack of attic insulation. He recommends if you're not getting water in the house, simply let the snow and ice melt and then get a roof and attic inspection. In the meantime, many homeowners doing the best they can to battle the elements.
A lot of problems with the gutters. Everything is frozen.
And do you know what a snow fence is? Iowa meteorologist Grayson Front explains what it is and how it helps keep roads safe.
When snow blows and drifts, it can pile up on the roads and create slick spots, leading to dangerous travel conditions. So cities will often turn to snow fences to help keep roads clear. A snow fence works by slowing the wind and causing snow to drop, trapping it behind the fence and away from the roads. They can be made from wood or plastic, held together by sturdy metal wire. Cities and highway departments will install snow fences in trouble spots, along busy highways, high-traffic city roads, rural routes prone to whiteouts, and in open areas where wind can blow snow directly across the pavement. With less snow reaching the roadway, snowplow crews can spend less time battling heavy drifts and more time keeping major routes moving. Snow fences often go up in late fall and stay in place through the winter to help keep drivers safe and the roads passable.
A powerful earthquake off Japan's coast injured more than 30 people on Monday night. The 7.6 magnitude quake struck in the water off Japan's main island. It set off a tsunami warning, which was later lifted. Many buildings, as you can see there, violently shook, but there are no reports of deaths or major damage. Now, Japan's government later issued a mega quake warning, saying another quake just as big could strike within a week. And for the latest video news, be sure to follow us on social media. You can find us on all your favorite social media platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll learn about the short and long-term benefits of prescribed burns, plus tips on keeping your Christmas tree healthy through the holiday season.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with Look at the Northeast. It's a chilly start in the Northeast with most towns starting the single numbers and teens. It's a cold day today with afternoon highs in the 20s to around 30 degrees. The overall trend today will be for increasing clouds as a very weak disturbance approaches from the west. You might get a quick dusting or coating of snow, especially in northern New England. There'll be some rain showers in southern New England. We'll get a break Wednesday morning, and another round of rain and snow moves in for Wednesday and into Wednesday night.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Jabali. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. Looks like we're dry and at least seeing the sunshine for your Tuesday. Very cold start. We'll get only into the 30s or so, but at least some sunshine to be around. Wednesday, another front moves through the region, bringing some showers and maybe even some mountain snow through the area. We'll be looking at, again, those temperatures very cold. Your afternoon highs may be stuck in the 30s everywhere. We'll be a little bit warmer for Wednesday as that system approaches, reaching the 40s.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Collins with a look at your southeast forecast. High pressure is settling into the southeast through the middle of the week. This will leave our weather pattern fairly quiet with mostly sunny skies and the chance for some cloud cover lingering around heading into Tuesday for most of South Florida. Afternoon highs will remain in the 40s across parts of the Carolinas heading through Tuesday afternoon, with the 50s along the northern Gulf Coast in the Mississippi River Valley. Nice and mild across central and South Florida with afternoon highs in the upper 60s and low 70s.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Wintry weather moved through the Asheville area and coated the landscape. Here's a look at the West Virginia state capitol, where Monday was a winter display. Area snow lasted into the night. Today is expected to be a warmer version of the cold. And this deer finds a chilled meal of apples in the snow.
Listen to Off the Radar, winner of the National Headliner Award for Best Information Podcast.
A 20-year study in the Sierra Nevada is now shedding light on prescribed burns, an action fire officials use to reduce wildfire risks. As Ania Romero reports, the research shows prescribed burns have both short and long-term benefits.
Trees are the lungs of California's mountain communities, and with more than 33 million acres of forest across the state, protecting them is critical. This is how CAL FIRE is doing just that. With prescribed burns, which the agency says helps prepare communities for when the unexpected strikes.
There is like a lightning strike or some sort of fire that happens in an area, it would be able to be a lot easier to slow it down and stop it before it reaches the community.
And now a UC Berkeley study performed at the Blodgett Forest Research Center shows prescribed burns work, stating it reduces wildfire risks and helps forests grow stronger over time. A strategy CAL FIRE has used for more than 25 years. It's a delicate process requiring multiple agencies, crews, and perfect timing.
The key is just keeping your flame length low, burning at the right time, burning slowly, and just having all your contingencies in place so that you're not going to get an escape.
The study shows that repeated controlled fires can boost a forest's productivity, helping trees store more carbon, and supports California's goal of net zero carbon pollution by 2045.
Back when the Native Americans did a lot of burning, they had a lot of expertise, and then with the fire suppression era, a lot of that expertise was lost.
Prescribed burns could also play a key role in making home insurance more affordable.
It reduces pollution. It lowers insurance rates because you're reducing risk of communities burning to the ground. And I'm hopeful that the legislature and the governor will engage this next legislative cycle to do more in our forests.
Well, it calls itself the longest running citizen science survey in the world. We're talking about the 126th annual Christmas bird count in northern Wisconsin. Eric Peterson spoke with one of the participants.
At the end of the walkway at Anclam Park in Bailey's Harbor, birds dabble near the Lake Michigan shoreline.
As long as there's open water, we're still going to have water birds like Canada geese and a variety of ducks.
Dan Scheinman is a visitor engagement specialist at the Ridges Sanctuary nearby. He's also part of the upcoming Christmas bird count.
Volunteers go out in a designated 15-mile diameter circle on a certain date, and they count all the birds that they see or hear.
Scheinman says if people want to stay inside, counting birds at feeders is part of the survey.
Each Christmas bird count circle has a compiler who collects the data from all of the birders, and then the compiler submits that to National Audubon Society. National Audubon rolls it all up to give us that snapshot of bird distribution and abundance in winter all across the Western Hemisphere.
Scheinman says scientific studies show since 1970, nearly 3 billion birds have been lost across North America. And that's not all.
The National Audubon Society has learned that many birds are actually expanding their winter range northwards in response to warmer winter temperatures. Part of the excitement is you just never know what you're going to find. We're counting common birds and sometimes finding rare birds as well.
Christmas is now just 16 days away, and this morning we are talking trees. Meteorologist Ethan Foreman looks at the prices this year and what you need to do to take care of your tree.
We sell primarily Fraser fir, concolor fir. We do spruce trees, which are a quicker grow time. Frasers take up to 10, 12 years to get a tree out of them.
Curtis Sherwood at Skigama Gardens in Traverse City says, while it's early, business has been good.
Prices did go up a little bit in the industry, but we didn't change ours.
Sherwood says there is a particular type of tree that will last longer than others.
Fraser fir, the really nice needles, short, soft, white on one side, nice green on the other.
And it's a good tree as long as you take care of it.
It's not picky, it doesn't make a mess, holds its needles a long time. You know, we've had people say that they held all the way till March.
When you bring it home, even though we've given it a fresh cut, the first thing that we suggest is that you use hot water rather than cold water.
He also says that you should be checking on your tree often.
The first time is the most important. If you run out, then I would suggest hot water again. Otherwise, just keeping it filled, on a routine basis. Just check it daily. Some of the bigger trees, the 8, 10, 12 footers, they may need to be filled twice, at least in the first few days.
Red light therapy is surging in popularity as research links it to benefits that range from anti-aging to improved muscle recovery. Emily Gracie spoke with an expert to understand why this unique wavelength of light is proving so effective.
And so when you look at the entire electromagnetic spectrum, essentially these are measured in photons. So this is light that actually spans all the way from really long wavelengths, which is radio waves and microwaves. And then the shorter wavelengths of light are like the gamma rays and X-rays. And thankfully, our Earth's atmosphere filters all of those out because those can cause a lot of mutations in our DNA. And so the visible light spectrum is 400 to 700 nanometers. So when we're talking about those red wavelengths, we're talking maybe 620 to about 700 nanometers.
I'm curious how all this was discovered. Like how at one time was someone like, hey, guess what? Red light therapy is able to do this, or was it discovered by a mistake?
In the late 1960s, there was actually a Hungarian scientist who wanted to see if red light actually caused cancer. So in laboratory mice, and it exposed them to a ruby laser, which is a red wavelength. And it turned out that the mice didn't develop cancer, but the mice grew hair. The unintended consequences of researching one thing is that you discover other things. And one of the initial FDA clearances for these red light devices was actually in hair growth.
Well, the ones that people are wearing on their faces, did they ever have the unintended consequence of like facial hair growing?
we don't have as much of those terminal hairs. So the terminal hairs that we have aren't all over the face. Most of them are called villus, those little fine baby hairs. We do have some areas that can have terminal hairs. But yeah, it's not that, it all depends on the ability for those hairs to be terminal or villus. So we won't get that all over our face. So that's good.
And to hear more about red light therapy, listen to Off the Radar. Find it anywhere you get your podcasts. And as we go to break, a flight over a water-filled canyon in the Icelandic highlands.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael. We've got a storm system that's going to be moving its way across the upper Midwest today with some decent amount of snow there in portions of northeastern North Dakota and Minnesota, moving into Wisconsin. That kind of shifts into the Great Lakes for tomorrow with snow to the north and then rain across the Ohio Valley. As we continue on into your Thursday, another little quick clipper slides in as well.
Well, a good Tuesday morning to you. Meteorologist Chris Suchan looking at our forecasts across the region. Starting off with a chill in the air with mainly clear skies. Really a beautiful day coming up. From the 50s, Little Rock, New Orleans into Shreveport, 64 in Houston, right around 70 into Abilene. And we take this into Wednesday, a little bit of a chill in the air to start, although more 40s and 50s in the morning. And in a beautiful Wednesday, highs from the 50s, 60s, 72 San Antonio to Houston and the southeast part of the state.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm meteorologist Stella Sun. An atmospheric river will continue to pound the Pacific Northwest. Meanwhile, mountain snow is expected through portions of Montana as well as Idaho, with windy conditions expected through parts of the Dakotas. Daytime highs will be warming into the 70s through the Valley of the Sun and in Southern California, with 81 degrees on tap for San Diego with the warming trend. Meanwhile, cooler temperatures expected through parts of Missoula and in Spokane, hanging out in the middle 40s.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Lindsay Storrs at KUTV in sunny Salt Lake City, Utah, and you're watching the National Weather Desk.
Well, have you ever heard of snow needles? Meteorologist Jeff Exline explains what makes snow take on a needle shape.
During a recent snowfall, Maggie Fisher from Middleburn, West Virginia, asked this question: why does the snow look like needles? Well, it all depends on where the snowflakes form in the atmosphere, and probably more important, at what temperature those snowflakes form. So you look at a skew T. This is what meteorologists will look at as weather balloons go up in the atmosphere. And we're looking for the dendritic growth zone, which goes up thousands of feet in the atmosphere. And this was the skew T of that system when the snow was falling. The temperature in the dendritic growth zone, just a fancy word for where snow crystals form, was near 5 below Celsius, or 23 degrees Fahrenheit. And as you can see, there are many different types of snowflakes. So when temperatures are between 21 and 26 degrees Fahrenheit, you typically get these needles to form. Those classic dendrites occur when it's colder, when temperatures are between 3 and 10 degrees Fahrenheit.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Angela Brown. Make it a great day, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.